There are moments in life when no matter how many people surround you, you still feel completely alone. You could be walking in a crowd, sitting with family, or even surrounded by friends, but the weight in your chest doesn't go away. It is in those moments that you will realize there is not a single soul who truly understands what is going on inside you except Allah. Every step you take in life comes with new challenges, new worries, and new tests. Sometimes you try everything in your power to fix a situation, but nothing works. You seek help from others, but they let you down. You cry silently, thinking no one sees, but there is one who never blinks, never forgets, and never leaves, and that is Allah. From the moment you were in your mother's womb, before anyone even knew your name, before you could ask for help, He was already helping you breathe, helping your heart beat, forming your features, planning your journey. So what makes you think He will abandon you now? Sometimes in life you'll give your heart to people who were never meant to carry it. You'll confide in someone thinking they will understand, only to find out later that your trust was misplaced. You'll stand by someone through their darkest days, hoping they will do the same for you, and then when your own storm arrives, they are nowhere to be found. The reality is, no matter how sincere you are, no matter how loyal you try to be, people have limits, they have weaknesses, they forget, they get distracted, they change. And that is why putting all your hope in human beings will eventually leave you broken. It is only when you shift that hope to the one who never changes, never forgets, and never turns away that your heart will truly find peace. From the very beginning, when you were nothing but a clot in your mother's womb, there was one who watched over you. Before your own mother held you, before anyone knew your name, He was caring for you. He gave you a heart that beats without your permission, lungs that fill with air without you even thinking about it, eyes that blink, blood that flows, a mind that reasons. None of this came from people. It didn't come from your own ability. It came from the one who said be, and you were. So what makes you think, now that you are grown, that you are in control of everything? What makes you think people can carry your pain better than the one who created your soul? There is a comfort that arises when you truly accept that people will fail you. Because once you accept it, you stop being shocked by it. You stop expecting from the creation what only the Creator can provide. Love, support, compassion, these are beautiful, but they are not guaranteed from people. Today they may be with you, tomorrow they may not even remember your name. But the one who created you is not like that. He doesn't get tired of your complaints. He doesn't get bored when you repeat the same dua for the 100th time. He doesn't need space. He doesn't need time to think. He is always available, always listening, always aware of your situation. You may have been abandoned by people you never thought would leave. But that abandonment was not a punishment, it was a lesson, it was a redirection. You were being reminded that sometimes the only way to truly connect with Allah is to be cut off from everyone else. As long as you're depending on others to rescue you, you may never discover the strength that lies in turning to Him alone. So He allows you to experience a moment of complete silence from those around you. He lets the phone stay quiet, the messages unread, the doors closed, not because He hates you, but because He loves you. He wants you to feel what it's like to be with Him and only Him. And when you finally taste that connection, you'll never want to depend on anyone else again. Every time someone lets you down, it hurts. But in that hurt, there is a hidden mercy. Because every disappointment pushes you closer to the one who will never disappoint. Every heartbreak becomes a reason to return to the one who heals hearts. Every moment of rejection becomes a reminder that there is one place where you are always accepted in sujood. That moment where your head touches the ground and your heart rises to the heavens, that moment is more powerful than 1,000 conversations with people who don't understand. Because when you speak to Allah, you're speaking to the one who already knows everything you want to say, and He still listens. You may have carried burdens for years. You may have smiled when you were actually breaking inside. You may have encouraged others while you were quietly drowning. But all along there was someone who saw every moment, who heard every silent cry, who counted every tear, who understood what you couldn't even explain. He was with you through it all. And now He waits for you to turn to Him, not because He needs you, but because you need Him. There will come a time in your life when you will be forced to make difficult decisions. When the path ahead is foggy, when people are advising you in different directions, when your own mind is full of confusion. In those moments you'll realize something important. It doesn't matter how many people are around you if you don't have inner clarity. And that clarity only comes from Allah. He is the one who grants insight when logic fails. He is the one who places light in your chest when your surroundings are dark. He is the one who reveals answers when everyone else is giving you opinions. But for that to happen, you need to speak to Him. You need to pause. You need to step away from the noise and have a sincere conversation with the one who never leaves your side. Life is not meant to be a smooth ride. There will be moments of ease, yes, but also moments of fear, sadness, loss and confusion. And during those moments, you will see the true value of your connection with Allah. If your connection is strong, even the worst hardship will not crush you. Your heart may tremble, but it won't collapse. You may cry, but you won't break. You'll feel the weight of life, but you'll also feel the support of the most powerful. You'll know deep in your soul that nothing happens except by His will, and that He never wills something unless there's goodness in it, even if you can't see it yet. Trusting Allah doesn't mean everything will always go your way. It means you'll have peace even when things don't. It means you'll sleep at night knowing that the one managing your life never makes mistakes. That even the delays are not denials. That even the unanswered prayers are either being saved for a better time or being replaced with something more suitable. When you rely on Allah, you're not relying on outcomes, you're relying on wisdom, and that wisdom is always flawless. You might ask, how can I reach that level of trust? The answer is simple, but it requires consistency. Get to know Him. Just like you trust someone more when you spend time with them, the same applies here. Recite His words, understand His names, speak to Him in your own language, ask Him for help even in the smallest things. The more you involve Him in your daily steps, the more you'll see His guidance. And the more you see His guidance, the more your trust will grow. Until one day, even in the middle of a storm, you'll smile and say, I know He's with me. There will be moments when people misunderstand your silence, when they misjudge your distance, when they accuse your character, even though you know your heart, and it may tempt you to prove yourself. But remember, not every battle needs your voice. Sometimes silence is louder, and sometimes the best defense is not explanation, but elevation. When you raise your hands to Allah and say, you know the truth, that is more powerful than 1,000 justifications, because He is the judge, He is the witness. He is the one who will clear your name in ways you never imagined. You will never lose when you rely on Allah. Even if you lose people, even if you lose opportunities, even if you lose comfort, because when you have Him, you've already won. The world may think you've fallen, but in reality you've risen. You've moved from relying on the temporary to anchoring yourself in the eternal. You've traded confusion for clarity, weakness for strength, panic for peace. And it all started the moment you said, I trust you, Ya Allah, with a heart that truly meant it. There are moments when you find yourself unable to speak. Not because you don't want to, but because you don't know how to express what's inside. You try to open your mouth, but the words get stuck. You try to explain your feelings, but they don't come out right. So you just sit in silence, holding a pain that nobody around you truly sees. You smile because that's what's expected, but inside your soul is crying. You walk among people, but you feel like a stranger. And in those quiet, lonely hours, you realize something very deep. There is only one who truly understands. There is only one who knows what's hidden behind that forced smile. Only one who sees the storm behind the calm appearance. Only one who listens to what the heart whispers when the lips say nothing. It is in those very moments that you are closest to your Lord. Because when you speak to Him, you don't need perfect words. You don't need to structure your sentences. You don't need to explain the full picture. You just need to be sincere. Even if it's just a tear rolling down your cheek, He understands the entire story. The beauty of turning to Allah is that you don't have to pretend. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to hide your fears. You can come as you are, broken, scared, confused, and He will still welcome you. He already knows the pain you haven't shared with anyone. He knows the moments you cried silently while everyone thought you were fine. He knows the battles you're fighting in your mind that no one else even notices. That is why there is so much power in speaking to Him, even if it's just through your heart, because He hears what the tongue doesn't say, and He responds in ways that no one else can. It's comforting to know that while people may forget what you said, while they may dismiss your feelings or minimize your struggles, Allah never forgets. Not even a single sigh goes unnoticed. Not even a silent dua is lost. Every emotion you bury deep inside is known to Him. And every time you raise your hands, even if you have no words, the gesture itself reaches the heavens. You don't need to explain your pain, just direct it upwards. That act alone is more powerful than you can imagine. It is in those raw moments, those unfiltered cries, those private prayers that hearts begin to heal, because you're speaking to the one who created your heart in the first place. People often think they need to find the perfect time, the perfect place, the perfect state to talk to Allah. But the truth is, He waits for you in your imperfection. He waits for you even when you're distant. He waits for you even when you feel too guilty to speak. And when you do speak, He listens in a way no one else ever can. Sometimes all it takes is a whispered, Ya Allah, and the heaviness starts to lift. Not because the situation has changed, but because you've shifted the burden to the one who can carry it for you. The moment you remember that He is in control is the moment you start to feel light, even if everything around you is heavy. In life, there are times when you don't just need answers, you need comfort. You don't need someone to fix the problem, you just need someone to understand that you're tired. And that is where the relationship with Allah becomes the most powerful. Because He doesn't just solve problems, He heals hearts. He doesn't just give you a way out, He gives you inner peace while you're still in the storm. And that is something no one else can offer. When you speak to Him, you're not speaking into the air. You're being heard by the one who says, call upon me, I will respond. That promise alone is enough to keep you going when nothing else makes sense. Sometimes you might feel like you're the only one struggling. Everyone around you seems to have it together. They're smiling, progressing, moving forward, and you feel stuck. But remember, appearances are deceiving. People show what they want to show, but Allah knows what's real. He knows your effort. He knows your intentions. He knows how hard you're trying even when it seems like you're not moving. And that's why your silent du'as are never wasted. They're recorded, cherished, and responded to often in ways you didn't expect. You might think nothing is happening, but behind the scenes your prayers are moving mountains. And then there are those times when you desperately want something and it keeps slipping away. You beg, you cry, you do everything you can, but still the door stays closed and it hurts. You wonder why your dua isn't being answered. But what if that closed door is actually mercy in disguise? What if the thing you're begging for would harm you in ways you don't see? Sometimes the unanswered prayer is the biggest form of protection. Allah knows what lies ahead. He knows what will benefit you long term, even when it doesn't feel good right now. Trust that when something is withheld, something better is being prepared, and that belief itself is a form of worship. Because it shows that your heart is not just attached to outcomes, it's attached to the one who decides those outcomes. Every closed door, every delayed answer, every painful moment is a part of a bigger picture. And when you place your trust in Allah, you stop questioning every event. Instead, you start learning from it. You start seeing how each moment of hardship brings you closer to Him. How every tear you shed teaches you patience. How every delay strengthens your reliance. This is how trust in Allah transforms a life. It doesn't make the path easier, but it makes your heart stronger. It gives you the ability to face what would otherwise break you. Because you're no longer walking alone, you're walking with the support of the one who never fails. It's easy to rely on people when things are going well, but true reliance shows up when everything falls apart, when the people you counted on disappear, when your plans shatter, when you have no one left to turn to. That's when your heart says, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is enough for me, and in that moment you're not alone. You're being supported in a way you've never felt before. The kind of support that doesn't just carry you physically, but elevates your soul. The kind of support that replaces fear with peace. That is what happens when your trust shifts from creation to creator. When people disappoint you, it doesn't mean you stop loving. When they leave you, it doesn't mean you stop caring, but it does mean you realign your expectations. You realize that placing your full hope in anyone other than Allah is setting yourself up for pain. Love people, appreciate them, respect them, but rely on Allah. Because even if the whole world turns against you, if He is with you, you have everything you need. And even if the whole world supports you, if you lose that connection with Him, you've lost everything that matters. You may not understand what's happening right now. You may feel like life has taken a turn you weren't prepared for. But you're not lost. You're being redirected. You're being shaped, refined and guided to something better. It's hard, yes. But growth is often uncomfortable. Healing is often painful. And elevation requires effort. The seeds of your patience today will blossom into something beautiful tomorrow as long as you keep watering them with trust in Allah. So, the next time you feel like no one understands, remember, He does. The next time you feel lost, remember, He guides. The next time you feel weak, remember, He strengthens. The next time you don't know what to do, remember, He already knows the best outcome. All He asks is that you place your trust in Him fully, sincerely, without hesitation. Let go of the illusion that people will save you. They may want to help, but they are limited. They don't control time, they don't control hearts, they don't control outcomes, but Allah does. And when you truly understand that only He can help you at every step of life, your heart will finally find peace. You'll stop overthinking. You'll stop panicking. You'll stop relying on people who are just as helpless as you. And you'll start walking through life with a calm heart, knowing that with every step you are being carried by the one who never fails. So say it with your heart, not just your lips. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is enough for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. And once you say that and mean it, watch how your life changes.